Born to run into trouble. Bruce Springsteen's epic journey. What makes a kid from Freehold, New Jersey trade a diploma for a guitar? How does a shy, wiry teenager become the boss of American rock? Why did Columbia Records bet on a Jersey kid with nothing but songs about highways and heartbreak? And what happens when fame collides with love, divorce, redemption, and even courtroom drama? From the making of Born to Run to the legal showdown that nearly silenced him. From the heartbreak of divorce to the redemption of true love. From tequila shots with fans to federal courtrooms. Every twist begs the question, how did he survive? Why did he fight? What kept him honest when shortcuts were everywhere? Bruce Frederick Joseph Springsteen was born on September 23, 1949 in Long Branch, New Jersey, but raised in Freehold, a town that smelled of hard work, sweat, and the occasional whiff of frustration. Freehold wasn't glamorous, but it was real. And that's exactly what Bruce turned into music, the grit of everyday life. His father, Douglas Springsteen, was stoic, often brooding, and worked jobs like bus driver. He was the kind of man who could sit in silence for hours, radiating the weight of unspoken worries. His mother, Adele, was the ballast, steady, pragmatic, a legal secretary who kept the family afloat with resilience and optimism. That push and pull, his father's quiet despair and his mother's unbreakable resolve, became the emotional engine of Bruce's songwriting. When you hear him sing about labor, dignity, and the ache of making ends meet, you're hearing the echoes of his parents' kitchen table conversations. Bruce wasn't alone in the house. His sister Pamela would later become an actress and photographer, proving that creativity ran in the family like a stubborn streak. Formal education? Bruce gave it the side eye. He wasn't built for classrooms. He was built for stages. He picked up a guitar young and chased bands instead of diplomas. By the mid to late 60s, he was grinding it out in groups like the Castiles and Steel Mill, learning how to lead, how to command a crowd, and most importantly, how not to flinch when life threw curveballs. By 1972, Bruce had assembled the E Street Band, a crew of lifelong comrades who weren't just musicians, they were amplifiers of his soul. Their chemistry wasn't luck, it was sweat, second sets, and a covenant sealed in the smoky air of Jersey clubs. Columbia Records saw the fire and signed him. Over the next 6 decades, Bruce released 21 studio albums. But here's the thing. His career wasn't measured in records alone. It was measured in rituals. The marathon shows that left fans exhausted but euphoric, the myth-making that turned him into the boss, and the mercy in his lyrics that made listeners feel seen. Albums like Born to Run and Darkness on the Edge of Town weren't just records. They were roadmaps. Epic yet intimate, restless yet rooted. Heartland rock wasn't just a sound, it was a republic of listeners who felt like Bruce was singing their lives back to them. In 1985, Bruce married actress Julianne Phillips. It was glamorous, it was public, and it was complicated. The marriage cracked under the weight of Bruce's relentless touring and the emotional distance that fame can create. By 1989, they divorced, painfully, publicly, and humanly. But Bruce wasn't done with love. In 1991, he married Patti Scialfa, the fiery vocalist of the E Street Band and his equal on stage. Patti wasn't just a partner, she was a co-conspirator in the music, a grounding force who braided domestic life with electric stage energy. Together, they raised 3 children, including Jessica Springsteen, who became an accomplished equestrian. Music didn't break them, it bound them tighter. The nickname stuck because Bruce literally ran the show. He handled rehearsals, settled pay, steered the ship. He was the guy who made sure the work never got away from them. Fans called him the boss, not because he demanded it, but because he earned it. Fast forward to 1975. Born to Run explodes. Bruce is on the cover of Time and Newsweek in the same week, a feat so rare it made him look less like a musician and more like a cultural phenomenon. But behind the scenes, Bruce is realizing something. He's famous, but he's broke. The money wasn't flowing the way the crowds were. Appel's contract had locked him out of his own publishing rights. Bruce could sing about freedom, but he couldn't sign a check without Appel's approval. Cue the tension. Rehearsals got icy. Meetings turned into shouting matches. Bruce wanted control of his art, Appel wanted control of the business. By 1976, the relationship imploded. Bruce sued Appel to regain his publishing rights. Appel countersued to keep him locked down. The result? Bruce was legally barred from recording new music for nearly a year. Imagine it, the hottest rock star in America, fresh off Born to Run, unable to step foot in a studio. Fans thought he was taking time to write. In reality, he was pacing like a caged tiger, waiting for the lawyers to finish their chess match. Bruce later said, "I didn't want to be a victim of the system. I wanted to be the system." The litigation finally ended in 1977. Bruce regained control, Appel walked away with compensation, and the E Street Band got back to work. Out of that frustration came Darkness on the Edge of Town, 1978, an album that sounded like a man clawing his way out of chains. Songs like Badlands and The Promised Land weren't just rock anthems. They were battle cries, forged in the fire of legal disputes. Bruce had fought for his freedom, and now he sang like he meant it. It was November 2020, and Bruce Springsteen, the man who had sung about highways, freedom, and the open road for decades, found himself in a situation that was almost too ironic to script. Picture it. The boss, riding his motorcycle through the Gateway National Recreation Area in Sandy Hook, New Jersey. A place of beaches, lighthouses, and apparently very strict rules about alcohol. According to park rangers, Bruce stopped to chat with fans, posed for photos, and accepted a shot of tequila. One shot. Just enough to toast the moment. But in that instant, the rock legend stepped into a restricted zone where alcohol consumption was forbidden. The man who wrote Born to Run was suddenly accused of running afoul of the law. Driving while intoxicated, DWI. Reckless driving, alcohol consumption in a restricted area. The headlines practically wrote themselves. The boss busted. Fans were stunned. How could Bruce, the patron saint of working-class dignity, be caught in something so ordinary, so human, so unboss-like? By February 2021, the case landed in federal court. The prosecution laid out the charges, but the defense had a simple counter. Bruce's blood alcohol level was 0.02, far below New Jersey's legal limit of 0.08. The tequila toast was symbolic, not intoxicating. The judge dismissed the DWI and reckless driving charges. What remained was the technical violation, alcohol consumption in a restricted area. For that, Bruce paid a fine of $540. Despite wealth from touring and selling his catalog, reportedly for hundreds of millions, the public record doesn't substantiate Springsteen as a billionaire. He's rich, yes, but his fortune is measured more in marathon shows and cultural impact than in bank balances. He's the guy who can sell out stadiums and then play a 3-hour set that feels like a revival meeting. If billionaires are defined by influence, then sure, Bruce qualifies. But financially, he's not in the Bezos League. He's in the Boss League. Springsteen's trophy shelf is crowded, 20 Grammys and counting, an Academy Award for Streets of Philadelphia, 1994. A Tony Award for Springsteen on Broadway, 2018. Induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, 1999. Bruce Springsteen is the only man who could make a 3-hour concert feel like a therapy session, a revival meeting, and a Jersey block party rolled into one. He didn't just sing songs, he built a republic of listeners who felt seen, heard, and carried along for the ride. Please subscribe to our channel now for more intriguing stories.